Greetings, everyone. This is Daywalker225XXXX, and I'm gonna do this video, and I'm gonna call it "Strong and Independent." Really? Now, the reason I came up with this particular name is due to the fact that a lot of black women refer to themselves as strong and independent, and they don't need no man, and all of this other stuff that these myriad number of reasons that they say that they're strong and independent, they don't need anybody, and yada yada yada. Well, my whole thing is this: you have to understand that I personally have a mother. I personally have sisters. I personally have, cousins, nieces, aunts. I have all of those. And the thing that kills me is the simple fact that even these younger girls seem to feel as though they're strong and independent based on the simple fact that they're black. I mean, it's not necessarily so much so that they've quote unquote done anything to necessarily prove or necessarily show society as a whole that they're strong and independent. It kills me because these women are, just going on and off about how they just, have all of these reasons why they don't have a man. I have my own house. Okay, you have your own house, like someone else can't get a house. You have your own education. Okay, so you went to school and you learned a few things, and you got a piece of paper that says that you completed someone's criteria in order for you to get it. But the thing is you say, oh, I got my own car and I take care of my kids, and it's just like Chris Rock always says, so you want a cookie for that? You want someone to appreciate you for doing what you're supposed to? And the other thing that kills me is that they say, well, I don't need no man. Well, if you don't need a man, well, then why do you have all of these women going on these ABC specials, and why do you have these women complaining about there ain't no good men out there? They're all down low. They're all low down, no good. If we're so fucking bad, if we're that fucking pathetic, and we're that to the point where you just can't stand dealing with us, or you don't like our ways, well then why is it that you go out of your way in order to be with black men? Because the thing is that a lot of these black women will sit there and say that they want these black men that are so good looking and rich, and they want these guys that are quote unquote alpha males. But look at what they're working with. I mean, a lot of these women are overweight. A lot of these women have terrible fucking attitudes. A lot of these women just aren't very nice to be around. I mean, what man wants to be around a woman that's unpleasant all the fucking time? I mean, I can understand, yeah, you're on your period or whatever, but excuse me, I'm putting together some of my guns here. But I mean, I can understand that, how, yeah, if you're on your period, yeah, you might be in a foul mood, or you might be cramped and in a bad mood and whatnot. But why the hell is it that you have to constantly be that way? I mean, damn, can't you give a motherfucker a break some of the time? Why is it you're always pissed off and bitching? You know, men don't want to be around you when you're like that all the time. You don't. A lot of women don't smile. Men love to see women smile at them. I mean, how many of you women just honestly smile at a brother and make yourself approachable? You know, you're unapproachable. It's like you see somebody scowled up and mean, and you go to speak to someone. It's like, even if you don't want to be bothered, just, hey, look, I'm not interested. Okay, cool, that's fine. But you females get mad when men go off and call you bitches and hoes and this and that and this and that. But hell, a lot of times you kind of act that way, and you make men want to talk to you that way. And I'm not saying that it's right, but I understand how they feel, because I've been in that situation before. I've tried to talk to a female, and it's like she acted like she didn't want to be bothered. Well, damn, if you don't want to be bothered, then how can you sit there and bitch and complain and moan when I go pick up a white girl, or I go pick up an Asian girl, or I go pick up a Latin girl, or a Middle Eastern girl, or whatever it is I decide I want to go date aside from you? It's like you didn't want to be bothered, but you get mad when I go get somebody else. So how does that work? And the other thing that kills me is with this strong and independent bullshit, and that's what I'm going to call it because it's bullshit, is the simple fact that, women for years and years have had plenty of different means of preventing pregnancy and preventing unwanted childbirths, but yet and still they do very little to nothing to allay that. They'll go out and they'll pick these men that quote unquote really aren't the best partners in the world, and men that by all rights and means they shouldn't have hooked up with in the first place, yet they do. But instead of them making their partners wear condoms, instead of them making their partners, go out and buy some condoms, or buy them birth control pills, or getting put on, Norplants, or using female condoms, or any of the 16, 17 different methods that are available to them to prevent having a child, what do? They get pregnant, and then it goes from that to these women went out and they had the Roe versus Wade case where these women had the right to choose. Okay, well, now you have the right to choose, but yet and still, these women still don't take any responsibility for their own birth or the fact that they have these unwanted pregnancies. They don't go off and take any responsibility for their own reproductive systems, and they give birth to these kids, and why is that? Now, the thing that kills me is either way these women are absolved of any wrongdoing. If they go out and they get with a guy and they don't necessarily want to be with the guy, but they want him to pay, it's like, oh, well, I'm having this baby, and for the next 18 years, she gets a quote-unquote come-up, because a lot of the times those parents that pay child support don't necessarily end up seeing all of this money get spent on their child. Case in point, look at Khalees and Nas. $11,000 a month for the next, 18 years. That's $11 million if you do the math. Well, roughly a little bit over, but I mean, you get the gist. The thing is, and even if they do decide to say, well, if the man comes out and says, well, hey, look, I want you to have the baby, I love you, I want us to be together, and the woman says, oh no, it's my body, I carry this child to term, fuck you, I ain't carrying this baby. So either way it goes, the women are absolved of any wrongdoing. So if she says, yeah, I want to have this baby, then the man is going to end up having to pay. Or if the man wants the child, then she can just say, no, fuck you, I ain't having this child, Tough titty, said the kitty, but the milk's still good. Now, what kills me is you have a lot of these quote unquote women that claim to have these degrees and claim to have all these accolades, and they're balling out of control according to them. But I just want to see what's going to happen when a few of these women get married and, basically they claim they want to be treated as equals. So what happens when these women marry these men and these men end up, I don't know, making a lot less than they do, and they start taking half of their shit? Because you see, a lot of the times when these younger women marry these older men, whether they help these men achieve or get all of this stuff that they have or not, when they get divorced or when they decide to split up, these women want to take half of everything. But what's going to happen when you have a man that's nowhere near as accomplished? Let's say the woman's making $250,000 or $100,000 a year. Let's go $100,000 a year, because that's a little bit closer and more believable to what someone would make. But let's just say she's making $100,000 a year, and she marries a man that's making, I don't know, $40,000, $50,000 a year. Now she's going to have to pay half of that to that man, because that man was never as successful as she was, but he's accustomed to the lifestyle that he's had when he's been with her, or since he's been with her. I really want to see how these women are going to react, because women have been doing that to men for years and years and years. But what's going to happen when it starts to happen to these females? How exactly are they going to deal with that? As a general rule, the average man is pretty much prepared for that, and they already know that, damn, I get a divorce, half my shit might just be taken from me. And the way that the legal system is set up, it's set up so that, men get we get the short end of the stick, and women pretty much get catered to for the most part. And it's going to be a day of reckoning when that starts to finally happen. I mean, it's happened a few times before, like when Kevin Federline and Britney Spears got together, and Kevin Federline ended up basically raping her in court. Or you can go with the Nas and the Kelly's case, and that, that's more along the lines of what normally would happen. But the thing is that these women are going to find out the hard way that, by them co-signing and saying, oh, well, yeah, I'm balling out of control, that's not really going to help you any when you get in front of the judge. It's not going to help you at all when you have to fork over half of what you busted your ass for, or you work a job where you're constantly gone or constantly at work. Because if you're making, I don't know, $100,000 or more a year, chances are you're going to be gone a lot. And if you have kids, you're going to end up paying child support on top of alimony. Men have been doing it for years and years, ladies. You may want to think about that before you go broadcasting all of that. Just a few points to ponder. But the other thing that kills me too is the whole I'm strong and I'm independent. Well, a lot of these women are strong and independent, but they either depend on child support, or they depend on welfare, or and if you have a few kids, that's going to eat up whatever disposable income you have right there, because those kids aren't going to not go without shoes. Those kids aren't going to not go without clothes. Those kids aren't going to not go without food or medical care or whatever else. So once again, the whole concept of I don't need no man, a lot of you ladies need to rethink that. Well, this is Daywalker225XXXX signing out. Peace, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, peace.